evening, everybody, and good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you may be watching from, or whatever time you may be tuning in. Welcome back for another encouraging word of the week. Listen, I believe that this word of the week is going to bless you and is going to help you prosper in the plans that God has for you this week. I'm going to ask that you would share this with somebody else. Click the share button below. Share it with somebody via messaging, or you can do it on all of your social media platforms. If this is your first time viewing, then welcome. I'm excited that you are here. I want you to do me a favor and click the subscribe button. When you click that subscribe button, it helps for you to be notified when new content is posted and when there is a new upload of an encouraging word of the week. So click the subscribe button if you haven't. If you have, then I'm glad that you are back and that you're here with us again. Listen, today's word of the week, it is patience. It is patience. Patience is key. Patience is important. I believe that patience is not something that's necessarily looked over. I think it's just hard for us to accept. I think that we know that patience is important, so it's not that we forget about it, but for a lot of us, it's hard to accept. And the reason why patience is hard for us to accept is because of our perspective of patience, our definition of patience. We view patience as if it means to stop. We view patience as it means to be done with something. We view patience as we think that it means that no. We view patience as something is not going to happen. And I believe that that is a skewed perspective. But we also, patience is something that challenges us because a lot of times patience deals with the desires of men. A lot of times it really tests the desires that we have as human beings. And so a lot of times we don't like to accept patience or accept that we're impatient because we want to accomplish what we want, when we want, and how we want it. And patience doesn't allow you to do that. It really challenges you in that area. And so to have patience means when you look up the Webster's or dictionary or Google Dictionary, it means, again, to accept. Patience is the capacity to accept delay in the midst of tribulation and or suffering. In other words, what God is trying to get us to see is that patience needs to have its perfect work. If you are going to become perfected in the purposes of God, you've got to receive and learn how to be patient. We are in a season where me and you are competing for the future, where we all have a different plan according to the will of God and a set time for things to come into fruition according to the will and timeline of God. So really, why are we competing? But because we become impatient and we see our brother doing this or our sister doing this or society is doing this, we get into this rat race where we say, well, hey, I'm 23, I'm 25, I'm 28, and nowadays 21-year-olds are real estate moguls and they're rich and they're famous. Nowadays, 12-year-olds have their own YouTube channel and they're making more money than 50-year-olds. And so it breeds this competition. It breeds an impatience and an eagerness and an anxiousness to be successful. And what God is trying to say, get us to say, is like he tells us in Philippians, to be anxious for nothing. But instead, that's what he says, instead, we should, but by everything, by prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving, to let our requests be made known unto God. And I'm reminded also Romans 12:12. It says, rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, and be constant in prayer. In other words, this consistent word that we're seeing is prayer. Prayer is a key to enduring impatience. Prayer is the key to be able to have hope and thanksgiving in a time where you're in a patience test. If you are in a patience test and your response and your actions and attitudes are off, you have to check your prayer life, because prayer brings discipline to the wrong response in a patience test. Oh my. I believe that's going to bless somebody. So what God is trying to do in this season is he's trying to bring a new level of patience in you, but he's doing it through prayer. Patience is divine delay. And when God delays you, it is for the maturity of a person or for the safety of a person. I'll say that again. When God puts you in a place and he's testing your patience, in other words, when you are in the divine delay of God, 9 times out of 10, it is for 2 purposes. That is to mature you or for the safety of a person. In other words, he'll withhold something for you until you're able to grow into the knowledge of the thing, or until you're able to grow into a place where you're able to understand, or you're able to properly act on what it is that he wants accomplished. Many of you, you're asking to be a millionaire, but if God let that be so over your life, you'll probably die in the middle of it because you wouldn't be able to handle it. So God will delay that thing for you so that you can come into a place of maturity and knowledge and study how to properly manage millionaire status. Or for the safety of a person. He'll delay your flight. He'll delay a car accident. He'll delay just so small meetings and small different things for the safety of your purpose. I've been in it where meetings were delayed. Why? Could it be that person maybe in a moment may have been dealing with anger, maybe did something and could have told you no? So God had to delay the meeting so that he could work on their heart, so that way when y'all come back, you can get the right answer. So when you are in a divine delay, it is for the safety or for the maturity of a thing or a person. So when you are in a patience test, think of it as I'm in a divine delay of God. And in the middle of it, I've got to do what Romans 12:12 tell me. I've got to rejoice. I have to have thanksgiving. And I have to have hope that what God has for me, it is going to be so in the timing of God, because I am operating according to his plan. And because I have postured myself in prayer, I'm not anxious, like Philippians tells us not to be. I'm not anxious. I'm not worried about what's going on around me. But my mind is stayed on prayer, so it helps me to be disciplined when it comes to the plans of God, and not to become anxious to pushing something into fruition, but to go according to the timeline of God. If you watch me today, let patience have its perfect work in your life. I hope that this has blessed you. I want you again to share this with somebody else. If this is your first time, click the subscribe button so you can be notified when new uploads are coming to this channel. Again, if you have not gotten the Intercessor's Influence book, you can go to WashawnWarren.com. And you can purchase the book. Again, it goes over the identity of the intercessor, which helps you, which will unlock the authority and teaches you your authority as an intercessor. So if you are an intercessor, you need this book, or if you want to learn more about prayer, you can go grab a copy again at WashawnWarren.com. And also, for those of you that are monthly partners or that want to become monthly partners with me, then you can go to Patreon.com/Washawn Warren. There you'll get exclusive content, exclusive teachings. In times past, again, I go on live and I teach, but now I'm creating a community where, again, those that are really desiring and hungry for the future, those that are hungry to become equipped and activated in their gifting and diving into a deeper revelation of their faith. This is a space for you. So you can go to Patreon.com/Washawn Warren to become a monthly partner. And not only will it equip you, but it will help me to continually do what I'm doing now, which is what God has assigned me to do. So I thank you in advance, and I can't wait to see what God has for you and how it comes to pass in your life. I love you all. Again, make sure you subscribe to this channel. God bless.